Paper X has made Vitality a better team. Paper X has been known for their aggressiveness, but now they're a lot smarter. They know how to handle their util, and they know how to read an opponent. And so, Vitality playing one of the top tier aggressive teams, they take in that experience and eventually be able to dominate FUT. And so what we're going to do is we're going to compare the two and how Vitality initially react versus Paper X and what they learn and how they implement a lot of good things into their next game. So this is a pistol round. Paper X start mid, and in this instance we're going to go to the mini map, and we see we have 4 players holding mid. We have 1 sole player, no trade in sight, and that automatically gives Paper X the instant advantage. If we go back, okay, we see they're all mid. We're going to rush A, clear a little bit. Durka does an entry, and from there, one thing I like about how Paper X handles this, if we look at the map again, is that Paper X is instantly crowding. Most likely they know that people are going to be running out of A main, and in that instance they're going to be most likely isolated. In this instance, we see that we have 2. We have a parrot right here, but Durka is on his own by himself. And as LeBron plays out, we see that Durka eventually does get 1, but since he's isolated, he gets a trade. Again, Profek over peaks. They're crowded up, have good spacing. They get it. They get the pick. He doesn't even get a trade back. And from here on out, they isolate the 2 remaining guys and pretty much win from here on out. Okay, we're rushing A. Okay, we know they're hitting the A site. And so what Vitality try to do is they try to stabilize, because obviously they don't have control of the site. They're currently fighting and they have no other avenue to fight out of. And in this instance where Paper X know they have nowhere else to go, and making a full rotate would be a really bad idea. They know, alright, they stuck on site, spike is down, and from here on out, like, we could just hold site. Like, even with for a second, he isolates the players in main, fights, Jing gets a pick, gets another pick, and from here they pretty much win the round. Okay, so round start. In this instance, they're contacting up mid. They take space. They take a lot of space, but the only issue is that they have a bunch of holes. Divide gets a pick. They instantly trade. And from here, Forsaken gets aggressive. And from here, they should have the advantage, right? But the part where, again, you're playing Paper X, you can't expect the normal thing. This jet usually doesn't push out with the op. Most likely, they're going to rotate maybe towards mid. But this is the most unlikely play, and this is a Paper X play, where something hears them rotating mid, gets a spike down, and from here, Forsaken takes the timing, and from here, it's pretty much just wraps. So in this round, they have Forsaken, Envy, and Jing confirmed there's a mid player, and they isolated it with the stun and Neon Slide, and from here, we have top mid taken, but we still have the 2-3 players bottom mid. And so one thing I want to highlight the most is that whenever Paper X confirms there's players, they're always taking either some sort of risk, or they try to confirm the player and they go and put tempo onto the players. And most likely the team isn't able to handle the aggression, because most of the time it's pretty unexpected, or they end up isolated. If that scenario where there's a couple people mid with even with Chronicle, most likely they either get some trades or Paper X still win it out. And I feel like the thing that has made Paper X a lot smarter is that they're also knowing when to make sound, because before, a lot of the previous Paper X games, like a long time ago, they would always make sound. And so even if teams like top teams would know they were coming, just because they would always like be running around. And so when they do make sound, they make an emphasis on it being tempo, it being aggression, and it being in your face. And so again, it's not like it's a lot easier to know when players are there, are potentially going to peek you. It's a lot easier to know when players are going to potentially peek you, but it's a lot different when there's 3 people peeking one angle. Now here's another instance on Fracture. This is their 3rd map in the series, and potentially one that Vitality can flip, especially on the pistol round. But in this sequence, Paper X already won the pistol, and this is their anti-eco. And so Vitality get a pick. They take the risk and gamble A, and from there they get a pick. And rather than just rotating through spawn, they take the flank of Southside of Fracture. They get a pick because they picked up a gun. Paper X didn't retrieve it, and pretty much from there they have a gun advantage. And pretty much win the round. They eventually get the kill and trade on Forsaken, and from there the round is over. And now the round I want to highlight is the one that's after, and this is what makes Paper X Paper Rex. So Paper X anti-eco, they're all rushing at a dish while Devi is clearing A main. In this site, we have them flashing at a dish, and we also have Chronicle holding A. And from here, Yampi is just holding dish just in case they drop out, and eventually he does get 2 kills. But with Devi here, he's probably the biggest game changer. Most players aren't going to take this peek into sand, but Devi, not only does he get 1, but he gets 2, or well, actually Envy gets the kill. And during this, if we rewind, because most of the time I even missed it because you have to look at the mini map, is that they smoked off A, and so Chronicle doesn't see anything, and they know that they killed 2, but they don't know how much or where everybody else is. And so something takes the timing into spawn. We have the Phoenix running out with his knife out, gets killed because something has a guardian, and from there we pretty much have a man advantage. That's why I believe Paper X is so crucial for how teams develop. Like, they're at a stage where they're pretty much almost at their prime or peak because they're playing a lot more intelligently, and they're also playing a lot more unpredictable. You thought you've seen all the ways of Valorant, but even in an anti-eco where they're most likely favored to lose, or it's most probable for them to lose, they realize, okay, like, in this instance, I'm confident enough to take aim duels even if I have a lesser weapon like a Sheriff in that instance with Devi, or I'm also I can take a timing here because it's, after all, it's an anti-eco. I can take a timing through the smoke and into spawn, get a kill, come back, and that's just what Paper X does. A lot of people are focused on trying to get the bomb down. They're so anxious and like, all right, as soon as I get the bomb down, then now I can fight. Or as soon as I clear sight, get the bomb down, now I can fight, and I don't have to worry, about anything besides getting him off the defuse or getting some kills. From here, the great teams know when to pause. They know when to cut sound, and in that instance, they cut sound, take a timing, and also get some trades without ever knowing the cipher that's holding A. He doesn't know what's going on because he's smoked off. And so that leads us to when Vitality play FUT, and I really want to highlight this round because this round is so important in how they end up adapting to how they play. A lot of the previous game where they play Paper X, they end up isolated, and so they couldn't get a lot of trades, and they weren't often, when they did take risks, they were often outmanned. But in this instance, we have a isolated Raze. Raze has Rocket, but obviously Vitality don't know that. What they're gonna do is that rather than focusing on like solely getting plant down, what they're gonna do is push the Raze, or we're gonna push Waterfall so that we can get ahead of the Raze Rocket. And from here, even if Yampi dies, we have Chronicle and Sayonara potentially able to fight off. And especially with Sop right here, not having a rifle, he's not able to rush in and trade us, along with J. And the Fade is too far from the play to be able to follow up from here. Most people, again, are going to be so anxious and trying to rush the timer. In this instance, people are going to focus on trying to get down, and in that instance, FUT most likely flood. And even with the Fade Dog that eventually misses, they still go and clear it and get aggro, take a team fight, and so that, again, they prevent a Raze Rocket, which is the win condition of that round. Because even with the Fatal in a 3v5, it seems unlikely. Okay, and so the very next round, even though it is an anti-eco, what they're doing is that they're flooding out of these small chokes, and even if somehow the Fade gets a kill on Vitality, there's always a person able to trade. And so they're roaming as a pack, but not, extremely crowded as like a Paper X, where sometimes they're sending 3 or 4 on the same angle. See, and what I love about this round, we get a pick on A and then we go to C. From here, we have Yampi on B, and we're going to open the door to threaten pressure on C. And from here, our Omen and our Vice right here don't back out. They continue to fight just because they think, you know, the pressure is coming from B. We have a one-way on C. They're probably obviously going to respect it, and so all we have to focus on is the door tap. But from here, as the round goes on, the smoke fades, and from here it's a C crunch. They crunch mound, get a pick, and then we have two people on mound ready to trade in a pretty much a 3v2. And in this round, we have flankers. We have the Omen throw off the flankers, and he holds that line. And one thing that a lot of teams during Masters London forget about is that a lot of the players on FUT like to take timings. And so there's a lot of times where J is sometimes peeking into the smoke, ducking under a door, and taking a timing to get a kill. In this instance, you know, the usual play is for someone to hold drop just in case. But there's a lot of other plays where FUT, or a lot of other teams where FUT played, where J is still taking that swing and getting a kill. But in this instance, we have two people holding that angle just because we know someone could take a timing. And we already have Rays holding Heaven just in case. We have two people rather than one. And even if Chronicle wasn't looking at that time, we have a person that's potentially able to trade there. And that is a game changer. That's how FUT won a lot of their rounds, is by trying to take this timing, take a 1v1 or sometimes a 1v2, maybe even getting the 2 and swinging them around towards their momentum. And in this post plan, this is an instance of bad team fighting. We have Jerker holding the Rays rocket, but we end up losing the round. But overall, we do end up winning the game. Again, we still have a couple mistakes, but we do know how to handle certain scenarios. We're just not able to finish them out yet. And see, we go to this retake. We have 4 Heaven. In some instances, you would have people coming from different lanes and threatening other lanes so that we can, you know, make the attackers feel uncomfortable. But what I love about this is that we fade ult, we isolate the Rays, or not the Rays, the Neon, and we have 2 people double peeking just because we know they can go aggro. And so we're handling these aggressive fights, and most people in this man advantage would go play tree and just try to isolate fights. But from here, they're super aggro, they're super confident, and so they're going to continue to peek. Even with a fade sees, they're still peeking Heaven. And so they try to take a timing, peek Heaven. There's 2 people holding it, and there's 2 people Heaven, and then there's 2 people that's also drop. And so from there, it's pretty much just a win-win scenario, especially with the man advantage. And so from here, they know how to handle and they're able to group up and be able to team fight, or at least duo fight, so that even if they do get picked off there, they have a trade there and the space available so that they have a pretty much solid win. And so yeah, so those are some of the examples of, I think, the lessons that Vitality learned from playing Paper X. And from here on out, I feel like they've shown great signs as being able to play as a team. Though there are some holes, every team is not perfect. There's always things to work on. And they are a new core, so obviously we can't put them to the same pressure as Paper X. And from here on out, it's only up to their matchup with Leviathan, where they finally get tested besides another EMEA team. They played Heretics, they played FUT twice, and they've only played DRG, I believe. And so from here, they finally play an NA team or a non-EMEA team. And yeah, it should be an exciting matchup. I think that personally that Vitality should be able to take it to 3 maps depending on the map pool. But, you know, all I'm excited for is a good game.